What did you make of all that as a finish to the season?
Extremely disappointing. We'll have to go away and reflect on that to understand what happened, but we've probably had some signs of that in the last couple of weeks that we haven't been able to sustain a four-quarter effort, and we certainly didn't get anywhere near that today. But I think, in hindsight, the overall growth of the group has been extremely positive. We had a pretty young forward line again in there today. We mixed it around in the midfield to give Curtis Taylor a chance in the mid again. We had a roll on Seedsman. So we tried a few things today, but they were up for the task today, the Crows, and they were too hard at the ball. They released really quickly away from the stoppages, and probably lucky that they didn't convert as many chances as they had in front of goal. So yeah, overall it was a pretty poor day for us.
So just as a quick snapshot of the day, is it an issue of fatigue or just because there was nothing on the end of it really as a prize because you're already locked into that wooden spoon that it just becomes too hard for a young group to
mate, to be honest, the wooden spoon's got nothing to do with it. Let's not even enter into that discussion. Fatigue, no, that's not a reason. There's been heaps of other clubs that have had to come over on a day like today and do the 4 hours and that type of thing. The season's long, but you and I have been around long enough. It's long for everyone. So our ability to adjust our game is something that we need to learn through pre-season. The ability we got jammed in our defensive end, a bit in the first probably quarter and a half, and as a result of that, we couldn't activate some speed into our game enough to sort of really challenge the Crows in our front half of the game. So I don't think that from a fatigue perspective, I think, Michelangelo, the fact that we didn't work away off that sort of first 3 or 4 seconds away from the contest, that's not fatigue. That's unfortunately, that's a mentality that we didn't bring to the game. So, to our fans and our members that came, and for those that left early, I'm sure, it's not good enough, but, the overall growth of our group is extremely positive from that type of thing.
So, David, in terms of building blocks that you needed to put down this year, which ones can you tick off and say, start a new pre-season with some confidence things are built into your game?
Well, look, the one thing that we banked on in the second half of the year, Rich, I reckon, was our ability to bring energy and effort today, and that's, we weren't at that level that we needed to today, I don't think. But up until today, the back half, I think, was really good because when you get that, you can assess your systems. We had quite a few things that went awry today in our stoppage structure particularly. When you don't bring effort and energy, that's difficult to assess. So I think energy and effort, is a tick. I think our offence, our capacity to continue to be brave through the corridor is something that we wanted to stand for through the year. Not sure how the numbers will fall tonight, but, D50 to corridor, we'd been pretty strong on trying to manoeuvre that ball through there. I think being able to refresh our midfield with some youth coming through there was really positive. The debutants that we had, I think we played all of our guys that we drafted on the primary lists last year. And we taught our leaders and our experienced guys, some new roles, some new skills in the game. So I think there are some extremely good building blocks that we can go to go through from here. You just have to be really cautious, I think, of taking that result from today and letting that, overwhelm the whole growth in our year, particularly the second half.
Where does the improvement come from next year, David?
Fitter, stronger, more understanding of our game plan. I mean, you guys have got to remember, I landed in November. You don't get much chance to put in place a lot of the intricacies that you want with structures. So this year, we've now got offence, we've got some defence, we've got some more work into our stoppage work and contests. So I think there'll be some natural growth from the young group. 20 under 22, getting them fitter, getting them stronger, being able to understand, pressure points in the game, and we need to score better. We've had some last 2 or 3 weeks have been a bit hamstrung with getting the ball inside 50, but up until that period of time, we've had good inside 50 numbers, and so learning to take advantage of our chances as we go forward needs to be a lot better.
Are you locked into taking pick 1 to the draft, or will you listen to offers for that?
We'll do whatever we can to build our list and play finals.
recruiters told you about Jason Horne-Francis?
Well, I've seen Jason play. I've seen a lot of guys play. I've seen Dacos play. I've seen Darcy play. They're all in that top bracket. The benefit that SA has had in the last couple of years, as we know, is that the kids have been able to play. The kids in Melbourne, unfortunately, haven't been able to necessarily play too many games. And I think that was evident with Tommy Powell this year. Will Phillips took a little while to get going. Tommy Powell had come off a season of football over here, and it was noticeable. Horny's been able to play for a couple of years. So that's, he's been playing against men. As there are a lot of the guys over here that'll be on our radar from SA and WA.
Have you got clarity on when you can bring the group back together again?
Yeah, it'll probably be finalised this week, Rooch, but it looks like late November.
Okay.
And then early December. I think that'll be the time frames. I think they're just working through the 1 to 4 and the 5 pluses. So I think with the teams that come out this week and the first week, it looks like that late November and early December program, and then there'll be probably, I think, a 3-week block of a break over Christmas.
And is it easy to work out what you can and can't do over the summer? Because we live in a time when anything can change every 5 minutes. But is there a program that you can be sure you can put in place?
I'm just hoping that we can fly home tonight to start with.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Look, I think so. I mean, the governments are working really hard, as the AFL is, to sort of with the whole COVID thing. We'll be able to meet with our guys this week to do end-of-year reviews. We think we'll be able to get exemptions for our players to come in and do that, which will allow us to do a bit of planning and reviewing ourselves. They won't be able to go too far at the moment. We're trying to then work as to how we get players home interstate. That's a bit tricky at the moment with different levels of quarantining. And then, we'll just have to work and see how it lands from a community perspective, mate, when we get back in November. So, it's going to continue to be tricky, I think, really.
And of yourself, what have you made of the year? It was tough when you're having to rebuild a group from the bottom, but is it everything you want?
Yeah, I cannot question the trust that the club's put in me, the support that our members have shown. Myself and the coaching group is just been unbelievable. And I've mentioned a few times, to have record membership is just such a great sign of our members understanding what we've done. I've really enjoyed the challenge to teach and coach again, and to see the growth of that young group. The Taron Thomases and the Curtis Taylors, Jack Barneys, that group. Then you've got the next group above, I think Jai and LDU. And then you've got your debutants that have come through. So I've really enjoyed the experience. I still, get up a lot of mornings and just thank, the club that they've picked me to sort of lead them. So I'm very humble in being able to do that for the footy club. And, we're going to strive to continue to improve and get better. And, doesn't leave a great taste in our mouth today to finish the season and know that we've got 6 months left to make amends for that. So that's disappointing.
I just ask, of all the things that we've had to endure this year, what have you missed the most?
Singing the song more times after the game. it's been one of the things. From a footy sense, I've missed the energy of our fans. I've missed the lack of engagement that we have and the charge that we can hear when Cam Zurhaar takes a spectacular mark, or Nick Larkey or Taron Thomas kicks a freakish goal, and our fans are up, cheering. We had a little bit of experience about that, and particularly down in Tassie when we were able to get crowds in. So we've missed reconnecting with our fans. We've missed them greatly, and I think that's one of the biggest things that we get a buzz out of. And I know a lot of players do, is when you get your fans back to hear and have that connection, and that emotional charge has been really tough.
What's the realistic expectation for next year, David? Do you need another year of consolidation sort of around that bottom 4, or can you push higher than that with a bit of luck?
Oh no, we'll always be striving to go higher, and push really hard. I think now that our players have a clear understanding of how we want to play, and we've been really disciplined, I think, internally to stick with what that looks like. I think the players have really appreciated that consistency and calmness around the messaging towards that. So we'll go hard at that. How it pans out next year, who knows? I certainly didn't take the job to take 2 or 3 years to develop and take our time. So the club's been great. They understand. They know that they need to be a bit patient. But I'm in a hurry. I can get impatient at times, and so therefore we've got to balance what that looks like. So we've still got some work to do on our list. Go to the draft again, get the guys fitter and stronger, as I said, and then who knows? See how next year unfolds.
Want to give us a tip for how it all ends this year?
I like Brizzy. I like the fact that Brisbane ended up with a double chance after the weekend, and I think they've got their enough guys back and going at the moment. So I think the Brizzy guys are set to give it a real crack this year. I hope they do.